Welcome to Earth Archives. Last time we talked about Bob Lazar, who leaked information about the secret U.S. facility Area 51. He said that the research in Area 51 is actually done in the more secretive S4, but his access was limited and he couldn't know more. Today, we'll answer this question through another whistleblower. Just take it as a story. Before the show starts, please subscribe to the show, subscribe and share, and if you could leave a comment, that would be even better. Alright, let's start the show. According to the legendary whistleblower in the UFO community, Bob Lazar, whose full name is Robert Scott Lazar, he revealed that the real research on aliens and technology is being conducted in the more secretive Base S4, one of the top 10 forbidden zones in the world. The US military is leading top researchers there to conduct reverse engineering on UFOs. He said there are flying saucers and aliens in the base. But what's going on inside the S4 base? How did the US military get the flying saucers? What are the aliens doing there? Lazar said in an interview that his security level is limited and he can't access some information. To know more, we have to rely on a whistleblower with a higher security level, microbiologist Dr. Dan Burish. Dr. Dan Burish, originally named Danny B. Crane, was once the youngest member of the Los Angeles Microscopical Society. In 1989, he went to the Stony Brook campus of New York University to study under the arrangement of Dr. Edward Teller, the father of the hydrogen bomb, and obtained a PhD in cell biology. This Dr. Edward Teller is also the person who arranged for Bob Lazar to work at the S4 base. Obviously he is someone who knows the inside story of S4. As a biological weapons expert, Crane participated in Operation Desert Storm during the Gulf War in 1991. After returning to the country, he was awarded the Q clearance for the S4 base by the U.S. Naval Research Laboratory and the Defense Intelligence Agency. In fact, he had been eyed by the U.S. government before and was allowed to join S4 after a series of tests. But what is this Q clearance? It's not something from a science fiction novel, is it? Indeed, it's not. Q clearance is a civilian permit and level for non-government personnel to access high-level secrets, established by the U.S. Department of Energy and the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission under the U.S. Atomic Energy Act of 1954. From low to high, they are confidential, secret, L clearance, top secret, Q clearance. Q clearance allows unrestricted access to documents higher than top secret. As for why Crane could get this permission, it's because he was invited to join a secret organization within the U.S. government, MJ-12. MJ is an abbreviation for majestic, which means extremely noble, and 12 refers to the 12 members. This is a secret organization composed of scientists, military leaders, and government officials, established under the executive order signed by U.S. President Truman in 1947. The purpose is to recover crashed flying saucer wreckage, reverse research, and collect alien information. Of course, this is a secret, and the U.S. government has never admitted the existence of MJ-12, but it was known to the public in the Canadian declassified documents in 1978. Of course, the FBI vehemently denied that these documents were forged. Over the years, civilian UFO investigators and whistleblowers have alleged that MJ-12 is real, and those who can join are the top echelons of the U.S. government. For example, James Vincent Forrestal, the first Secretary of Defense after the establishment of the U.S. Department of Defense, is on the list. Of course, Crane, who was able to join MJ-12, is not simple either. Next is the truth about the S4 base revealed by speaker Michael Schratt at the 2011 International UFO Conference. At that time, there were 5 projects in S4, including Project Galileo, which was a project to study the propulsion system of alien flying saucers, and Bob Lazar belonged to this project. Project Looking Glass, which was reverse engineering of an alien device similar to the Stargate weapon research, which was researching advanced alien weapons, and Project Aquarius, which Dr. Burish participated in and researched aliens. As a microbiologist, Crane worked with and provided medical support to an alien named J. Rod. Firstly, the way to get there is not by driving a car. To get to S4, you have to gather at the EG&G building next to McCarran International Airport in Las Vegas, and then take a Boeing 737 from Janet Airlines. This is the same as what Bob Lazar described. The interior of this Boeing 747 is gray, and each passenger's seat is separated by a curtain, and members of different projects cannot communicate. During the flight, Neil Diamond's American is played on a loop, and he speculated that it has a special meaning. Crane's seat is at the tail of the plane, and every time it is about to land, he hears the crew call out, "Pyramid, pyramid, pyramid," which may be the command to land in Area 51. After getting off the plane, you have to take a bus covered with black cloth. The purpose is to prevent the members from knowing the location of S4, but today it is roughly known to be in the mountains on the east side of Papoose Lake, and the base is 5 levels deep. The first level of S4 is called the Dark Side of the Moon, and on the left is the Galileo Bay, a flying saucer hangar divided into 9 zones. When whistleblower Bob Lazar worked at S4 from 1988 to 1989, there were 9 flying saucers. When Crane worked from 1991 to 1996, there were only 7 flying saucers in the hangar, and at that time hangars 5 and 9 were empty. Hangar 1 is the P-45 disc-shaped flying saucer ridden by the alien J-Rod. The flying saucer in Hangar 2 is exactly the same as Hangar 1, and it may be a reverse engineering made based on P-45. The flying saucer in Hangar 3 is codenamed P-24, and Crane said it was a flying saucer obtained in the Roswell incident, but it was covered with oilcloth and could not be seen clearly. Hangar 4 is a flying saucer codenamed P-52 from Orion. Hangar 6 is a human imitation of the P-24 flying saucer from the Roswell incident. Because the P-24 flying saucer was covered, Crane said it is likely similar to the F-22 Raptor fighter designed and manufactured by Lockheed Martin Corp. He also said that the F-22 may have been made based on the P-24 prototype, or it may just imitate the technology and materials, and the shape is not the same. A large part of the stealth technology in the world's fighters comes from alien technology. The flying saucer in Hangar 7 has always been covered with oilcloth, and there are no replicas, so the specific shape is unknown. Hangar 8 is a black triangular flying saucer, perhaps the legendary American anti-gravity triangular aircraft TR-3B. There are red and blue lines painted on the corridors leading to different rooms in the base. Crane was told to follow the blue line and not to cross the red line boundary, otherwise the guards have the right to kill anyone who crosses the red boundary. As for the cafeteria, there are tables of different colors, allocated to members of different projects, and members of different projects cannot talk to each other. Red belongs to Project Galileo, black belongs to Weapon Research, orange belongs to Project Looking Glass, and blue belongs to Project Aquarius. In addition, didn't Crane provide medical support to J-Rod? This alien taught humans how to control flying saucers and assisted in the construction of flying saucer simulators. The simulator is a scaled-down version of the original flying saucer, which is used for training and test flights by human pilots after removing the power device. It is said that operating a flying saucer does not feel upside down. These were revealed by Bill House, a pilot and aeronautical engineer at S4 from 1966 to 1979. The second level is called the Alice layer. At the entrance, there is a rabbit statue about 1 meter high from Alice in Wonderland, seemingly reminding that you're about to enter a strange illusion. This level is the working area of the Looking Glass project, mainly researching time and space travel and the Stargate project. In the middle is a huge looking glass device, which can predict the potential possibilities of a certain future event, but it can only be operated by the alien J-Rod. The various possibilities of a certain future event will be projected into the room in the form of images. There are 2 cushions next to the device, like wormholes or Einstein-Rosen bridges, which can achieve time and space travel. It is said that you can go from S4 in the United States to the basement of the Temple of Abydos in Egypt, the Zeta star system where aliens live, and Pine Valley in Australia. The third layer is called the museum, or the positive pressure layer. It is the place where MJ-12 members live when they come to S4, with a dedicated suite for each person. In addition, there is a fully equipped biochemical laboratory. The fourth level is the Aquarius layer, which is the area where Project Aquarius, where Crane works, is located. This includes 5 decontamination areas, as well as multiple laboratories and equipment rooms. The 4th floor also has the only elevator that can go to the 5th floor. If you want to go to the 5th floor, you must undergo a comprehensive disinfection and decontamination on the 4th floor and wear special protective clothing to go there. The 5th level is where the alien J-Rod lives. In the center is a huge hemispherical sterile sphere with enough light sources on the top to illuminate without dead ends. A scissor lift is installed under the sterile sphere, which can lift the sterile sphere to the ground for transportation. On the other side, there are 7 staggered windows, which are the observation windows of MJ-12 members. Because J-Rod cannot adapt to the Earth's environment, he must stay in this huge sterile sphere most of the time. If someone wants to enter this sphere, they must first undergo strict disinfection and then put on a special biochemical suit, just like entering a space capsule. The way J-Rod communicates with humans is through electrocardiographic induction. The person communicating can hear voices in their brain, but others can't hear anything. Do you think the S4 base revelation is a real revelation by Crane? Or is it a deliberate leak by the US government? Or is it some kind of planned behavior? Feel free to share your views. See you in the next episode.